Welcome back to the Sharing English podcast, where we explore stories from the English-speaking world, spoken slowly and clearly for curious English learners like you. Let's get started. Hey everyone, it's your host Freya. Around the world, people dream about taking a road trip through California and up the west coast of the United States. They imagine driving beside the Pacific Ocean, stopping in small coastal towns, seeing beaches, cliffs, forests, and famous cities all in one journey. And one road is especially connected to that image: U.S. Route 101. Today, we're going to talk about the history of Route 101, what makes it different from other famous American highways, why California road trip culture became so iconic, and what people actually experience when they drive this route today. And if you listened to my earlier episode on US Route 66, you'll notice some similarities, but also some major differences. Route 66 is often connected to classic Americana, deserts, and the movement westward across the country. Route 101 feels different. It's less about crossing the United States and more about experiencing the Pacific coast itself. Before we go further, we need to clear up one very common confusion. Many people think Route 101 and the Pacific Coast Highway are exactly the same thing. They are not. The Pacific Coast Highway, often called Highway 1, is famous for its dramatic ocean views and winding roads directly beside the coastline. Route 101 is a much larger north-south highway that stretches through California, Oregon, and Washington. In some places, the two roads overlap or run close together, which adds to the confusion. But generally speaking, Highway 1 is the more scenic coastal drive, while Route 101 serves as a broader historic transportation route along the West Coast. Still, when people imagine driving the California coast, Route 101 is often part of that experience. Route 101 became part of the United States highway system in the 1920s, during the early years of automobile travel. At that time, long-distance driving was becoming more common, and highways helped connect cities and communities along the West Coast. Before the modern interstate highway system existed, roads like Route 101 were extremely important for transportation and commerce. The highway eventually stretched from Southern California all the way north to Washington State. Over time, parts of Route 101 became heavily modernized, especially near large cities. But other sections still retain the slower, scenic feel of older American road travel. To understand why Route 101 became so iconic, it helps to understand California's relationship with cars. California really developed during the rise of automobile culture in the 20th century. Cities like Los Angeles expanded dramatically at the same time cars became central to everyday life. Wide highways, suburban neighborhoods, long commutes, and road trips all became part of California's identity. And because California is so geographically diverse, driving there can feel like traveling through several different worlds. Within a single road trip, you might see beaches, mountains, forests, farmland, massive cities, and quiet coastal towns. That variety helped create the romantic image of the California road trip. Another reason Route 101 became so famous is the incredible variety of places connected to it. In Southern California, the route passes through the greater Los Angeles area, one of the largest urban regions in the world. Further north, travelers can experience beach towns and coastal scenery that many people associate with the California lifestyle. The route also connects travelers to San Francisco and the iconic Golden Gate Bridge. And as you continue north, the scenery changes again. You can encounter towering redwood forests, some of the tallest trees on Earth, as well as rugged coastline and smaller communities that feel very far away from Hollywood or Silicon Valley. That changing geography is part of what makes the route so memorable. The Pacific Coast is one of the most geographically dramatic parts of the United States. In some places, cliffs drop sharply into the ocean. In others, forests stretch almost directly to the coastline. The region is also shaped by earthquakes and tectonic activity, which have influenced California's geography for millions of years. And the climate changes significantly as you travel north or south. Southern California is often dry and sunny. Northern California and the Pacific Northwest can feel cooler, wetter, and more forested. So even though people often talk about California as one place, Route 101 reveals just how varied the region really is. And as Route 101 continues north beyond California, the atmosphere changes again. The Pacific Northwest, especially Oregon and Washington, has its own unique identity and landscape. The coastline becomes cooler, wetter, and often more rugged. The region is known for dramatic, rocky shores, forests, fishing towns, rain, and strong environmental culture. In many ways, the Pacific Northwest has a very different feeling from Southern California. Southern California is often associated with sunshine, beaches, and Hollywood. The Pacific Northwest is more commonly associated with forests, coffee culture, outdoor recreation, and quieter coastal communities. Route 101 passes through small towns, state parks, and scenic stretches of coastline that attract travelers looking for nature and slower-paced tourism. And because the weather is often cooler and cloudier, the atmosphere can feel almost mysterious compared to the bright imagery many people associate with California. This northern section of Route 101 helps show just how geographically and culturally diverse the American West Coast really is. Like Route 66, Route 101 has become part of American popular culture. It appears in films, television, music, and travel photography. Even people who have never visited California often recognize the imagery. Convertible cars, ocean cliffs, surfers, palm trees, and long drives beside the Pacific Ocean. But unlike Route 66, which is often associated with nostalgia and the past, Route 101 still feels very active and modern. People use it every day. For some drivers, it's a dream vacation. For others, it's simply the road they take to work. And that's something important to remember. When people imagine famous roads, they often imagine nonstop beauty and adventure. But real highways are complicated. Some sections of Route 101 are breathtakingly scenic. Others are crowded, busy, and full of traffic. Some parts feel like a movie. Other parts feel completely ordinary. And honestly, I think that balance makes the road more interesting, not less. Because Route 101 isn't just a tourist attraction. It's part of everyday life for millions of people living along the West Coast. Before we wrap up, let's go over a few useful words from today's episode. Coastline is the area where land meets the ocean. Scenic means visually beautiful. Cliff is a steep rock face, often beside water. Commute is regular travel between home and work. And road trip, a long journey taken by car. And one pronunciation note. The state that lies just north of California is called Oregon, usually pronounced Oregon, not Oregon, 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 Oregon. To wrap up, Route 101 is more than just a highway. It represents movement, exploration, and the dream of discovering something new along the coast. And even people who have never driven it often recognize the feeling connected to it: freedom, curiosity, and the idea that something beautiful might be waiting just around the next bend. Now I'm curious, have you ever taken a long road trip? Where did you go? Or where would you like to go if you haven't been on one before? Let me know. Thanks for listening to the Sharing English podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love it if you'd subscribe, leave a rating or review, and share the podcast with a friend who's also learning English. You can find out more about me and the podcast at our website, www.sharing-english.com. New episodes of the Sharing English podcast are available weekly wherever you listen to podcasts. As always, let me know, what topics are you interested in hearing more about? Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep sharing English.